going on, guys? Getting in the green. We're going to recap Week 5 NFL for you. Whew. I hope you guys listened in, man. We made some serious money this week.
Yeah,
we hit a lot, man, and obviously it was that week where we weren't ever in the running for the million, man, but there was some monster scores. But
yeah, that was what I was going to say. This was the highest week I've had in a long time, and just when you see the winning scores were still 40 points higher than me, and I was in the 200s, and you had some people, the winner scoring 260 type. It was that type of day when you had shootouts like Chargers-Browns game. You had Devontae Adams. You had multiple 40-point scores in the week.
You couldn't really go wrong at the top this week. Whoever you clicked on went the fuck off.
Exactly. Yeah, probably our weakest. Let's just go down the line here. Our weakest, which we didn't miss, but our weakest was really just the quarterbacks. We played heavy on Dak and Rodgers. Didn't have a bad game by any means. There's just multiple 40-point scorers this week in Tom and in Justin Herbert. That we didn't hit that, and that was kind of the difference in some of our lineups from being closer to actually to winning a tournament. So, but didn't go wrong there. Both had good games. Definitely did their job for us. The one miss we had, which is unfortunate, it was just an injury. One was I did have a couple of Daniel Jones that hurt me. We nailed so much that I actually still hit all the money with my Daniel Jones ones. I still scored about 180, 185 with my Daniel Jones lineups. Just shows how much we got lucky / nailed the other ones. But if that was the big miss, Daniel Jones, I tried to get some value there. Trey Lance did okay for us. I wish he got that touchdown on the fourth down play, but otherwise still had a pretty good game because of his legs, almost explicitly because of his legs. So didn't nail quarterbacks, didn't hurt us either.
Yeah. And obviously we weren't on Brady enough, which we should have been looking out for. That guy's just on a mission this year.
Yeah.
And then, I didn't see that, Charger-Browns game being a shootout at all. No. And that thing turned into just a fantasy dream.
Not at all. I actually got to go to that game in L.A., and it was a wild, wild game to be at. And I thought we were going to see a 10-7 game type of thing there, and 40 points scored in the fourth quarter between the two teams. And
it is broken play after broken play. It was insane to watch.
It was awesome. As a Chargers fan, it was a great win.
All right, so let's move into running backs. And, man, we just crushed this. I hope you guys caught the tweet on Sunday morning to just load up Madison.
Yep.
Dalvin Cook got ruled out last minute. We didn't see that coming. But the second it is, that guy is a must play.
I think he was at
500.
Yeah. So
we scored over 30.
We switched him into just about every lineup as soon as I heard the Dalvin Cook news. They also had a great matchup against Detroit. Went over 30 points for us. Absolutely crushed it. Let's go to our big guys that we were talking about. Derrick Henry smashed. Got his 3 touchdowns. Over 100 yards like we expected. Another 30 carry game. Got in the end zone 3 times instead of 1 like he has the last couple weeks. Huge performance.
Zeke went off.
Great. One of the little sleepers I did play, even though I was concerned about the game, but I thought he was just going to get more drop-offs. Did play Eckler in quite a few. Wasn't having a great game till about the fourth quarter there, but ended up, I think, with 3 touchdowns as well. Was in the 30s. That was huge as well for me. Some of our cheaper guys.
Damian Williams
had a great game for us.
I actually didn't play any Fournette, even though it was a recommendation, because I just went to Madison. But,
had a good day, too.
Had a good day as well there.
Yeah.
And then we kept it real simple for you guys at running back. There wasn't many options, and we just kind of nailed the ones we went with.
Yep, that's all we did. I don't think we played anyone else in that.
So
on to receivers.
Yeah, look, if you took Adams or Jefferson, you crushed. Obviously, Adams has the 200 yards, scores 40. He was in a smash spot there. Justin Jefferson is just as consistent as they come now at wide receiver. And he didn't boom necessarily, but you got to feel good. They think the guy had 100-plus yards in the first half.
He's a consistent guy. He's definitely the clear number 1, super high floor.
Yeah, absolutely. Receivers, though, let's get to the bottom ones that we nailed really just kind of solidified the day for us, and that's Antonio Brown goes off.
Yep.
2-touchdown game. Didn't have enough Mike Evans, and he just absolutely destroyed too there in that spot. And then at 4,000 was Tony, man, and this guy was a slate
Scored 30
winner
points.
for you. 4,000, scored 32 points.
Yep.
And the guy gets ejected with a couple drives left, or he might score 45. I mean, he was just catching every ball down there at the stretch.
Yep.
Hopefully no suspension coming for that guy next week, but they finally got the rookie going, man. And this guy's a specimen. He's
quick.
So fast.
Very quick.
Hands, size, speed. I mean, he looked good. They're going to be behind in the Rams this coming week. I'll definitely be taking a look at this guy somewhere if he's healthy and cleared to play.
Yeah.
Curtis Samuel, I didn't end up actually on him too much down at 3,000, and he ends up pulling his groin, but not even really a miss, man. This guy's about to score a touchdown, and Heineke just underthrows this ball that he gets hurt on. Otherwise, he's walking in, he's scoring you 10 points, and you're pumped. So, real close, but yeah, ends up in a miss. I think he only scored about 0.8 on a run.
Yeah.
So,
Hurt, and he's out again.
Out again with the groin. Don't trust him.
No.
But, yeah, I mean, overall for receivers, I mean, just absolutely crushed that position.
Yeah, a little bit of a miss on Randall Cobb as the other 4,000. Lucky enough for me, pretty much every lineup I played Randall Cobb in. I played Tony as well because I was trying to afford all these expensive, running backs and receivers that it worked out because Tony kind of saved that day. Cobb was a little bit of a letdown there, but luckily in those stacks, it was usually with my Rodgers stacks, and I had Adams as well. So Adams, Tony helped kind of offset that, but yeah.
Yeah, and then, all right, tight ends again. Another position where we just kept it
simple.
Very simple for you guys. So Schultz did great. Also, if you're taking an eye on Schultz, that guy dropped a touchdown pass here, or he has
20,
a monster game.
Yeah.
Dan Arnold made value. And then the cheap one who's cheap again this week, Ricky Seals-Jones in that offense, he's got a great floor, man.
Yep.
He's going to get you 4 or 5 catches, 40, 50 yards. Really like that guy. And, yeah, I mean, there wasn't that much at tight end, so you had to take your value. And I'd say the two we kind of missed on, one was due to injury and one just didn't get it going, was Ertz and Max Williams.
Yeah.
Ertz, weird game for Philly in general. But then Max Williams looked good on his one catch for 15 yards and just happened to kind of hurt his knee on that play. So
also, just for Ertz moving forward, I know it's not on the main slate this week. It's Thursday. Goddard just got announced he's in COVID protocol. Going to miss. Ertz with the Buccaneers game. I like
Great
his
play.
spot for
the
Thursday
showdown.
night showdown, or if you have him in season-long fantasy as well.
yeah, absolutely. And he might be available in some of your season-long fantasies depending how deep your rosters are. So, yeah, I mean, tight ends again. I mean, we got the 9 or 10 points out of Arnold's and Ricky Seals-Jones. It just makes the rest of your lineup so much better. Defenses. I only played the Cowboys, like I told you guys, and a little sketchy. Not that they had a bad game by any means. They played good. They had the turnovers, and then they get the pick six at the end. That helps. But yeah, they crushed value again. They're now priced up, though, accordingly in this game against New England, so might have to start looking some other directions. But how'd you do on defenses?
Yeah, and I did a lot of Cowboys, and I did pay up for Tampa Bay on some. Who, Tampa did fine for me. Didn't necessarily make value with what I was spending, but kind of had the comfort of having a safe game, having a game where they ultimately were going to dominate. So wasn't mad about that play either.
Yeah, so look, guys, looking into Week 6 here, I'll tell you this. I think you needed over 170 points to kind of get in the money for Week 5. I see the exact opposite happening here in Week 6.
Yeah.
Where, man, 180, 190 might just win it. I think we only have 2 games with the implied total over 50 this week, where there was 8 last week.
Yeah.
A lot of the big dogs are on showdown slates. We've got bye week starting. It's a smaller pool. And, you kind of get into Week 6, and now it's really hard to find the value. So, the DraftKings prices really start to conglomerate there. And, yeah, I mean, this is the week where we're going to have to find some from some spots, but I see the exact opposite of last week, where it's you couldn't miss last week. I see a lot of the top guys maybe kind of not catching value this week on the return.
Let's talk about quick preview for games. First, an obvious one that stands out for me and you as well. We've been talking Chargers-Ravens game. I see that being much more of a shootout, closer to what we just saw with the Browns than the Browns-Cardinals games. I think this game will absolutely be a shootout. Love both quarterbacks. Even before the performance we saw yesterday, I was already huge on Lamar. Just seeing the Chargers defense, especially the run defense. I think Lamar's going to have a field day there. Now, after the Monday night performance, seeing how he's really clicking with his team and looks great passing the ball, should be a great game there. On the flip side, Ravens defense doesn't look like the Ravens defense of old. They are in shootouts. Herbert pretty much looks unstoppable right now. I think our defense in general at the Chargers is bad enough where Chargers are going to need to score to win these games. Very reminiscent of the Chiefs 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whenever the Mahomes first took over, where it was, shootout after shootout. I see that a lot for the Chargers this year. They got the weapons, they got the quarterback for it. Excited for that game, but I think I'm going to be loading up on those two teams in this week.
Yeah, that game's going to be great. The other one, which, everybody's just kind of down on the Chiefs right now. And look, Lamar Jackson, just so you guys know, is going to pick up massive ownership after that Monday night performance.
Exactly.
So definitely still play him, but just know he's probably going to be at that 18-20% range now with kind of the smaller slate as well. The other game is just Chiefs-Redskins for me. The Redskins defense, not the Redskins, sorry, the Washington football team is just not what it was cracked out to be. The Chiefs are not as bad as people are making them out to be. They've played just high-level competition every week so far, and they're kind of getting into that spot of their schedule where they're going to cruise. This is a shoot. It's got shootout written all over it. It's kind of hard to get a Patrick Mahomes stack going if Hill plays because, those guys are just priced so high.
Yeah.
But I really like some Taylor Heineke lineups. Get Ricky Seals-Jones already playing that guy, and then maybe throw in a McLaurin, run it back with Hill. There's some good ways to play that game. Keep an eye on Hill's injury, definitely, because if he's a no-go for some reason, McCole Hardman's 4,200 this week. Saw 12 targets last week.
A lot of value there.
A lot of value there. But those are the two games that were... Obviously, there's a couple other good spots, but you got to watch out for blowouts. I think the Rams should dominate the Giants.
Interesting to me.
Keep an eye on Stafford's finger injury, see how that's kind of playing out. You've got, Indy playing at Houston. You've got the Cincy. There's one other one I'll touch on. I don't think it's going to be the shootout that, these two that we just mentioned are, but I'm interested in that Cincinnati-Detroit game. I just think Detroit's so bad on the ground. If you've got a healthy Mixon or something, might be a good spot. I also think, the Cincinnati receivers are a good play, and you could always run it back with, a DeAndre Swift, even an Amon St. Brown, who started to get the targets there at receiver. So, yeah, look, we'll kind of dive into a deeper Week 6. Did anything else stick out to you?
No, I think you hit the main stuff. Interested to see where the players are priced for the Colts Texans. Colts actually looked pretty damn good last night. Obviously, unfortunate ending. Want to see where Jonathan Taylor ends up. Obviously, we've talked about him. Wish his usage was higher. I'd be all about him if his usage was higher. There's some concerns there. I do like the matchup. That's kind of the main games for me. Still interested in the Packers versus the Bears there. Like every week, not a particularly good matchup. But yeah, we touched on the major games. Cardinals, Browns, I think a lot of people are going to be on because of last week. Don't necessarily love it. Obviously, there's going to be some players that are still going to score there, but I think it could be a little bit slower. Cardinals offense in general has slowed down a little bit in the last few weeks. I do think the Browns-Chargers games was a weird one-off versus
the Browns want to slow the game down as well.
Exactly.
All right, guys. So, again, Thursday we'll get you a full breakdown and analysis for Week 6. Like and subscribe to kind of get those updates.